I'd really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. And tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I'm on my way to see her. So tell me, am I very far? Am I very far now? Am I very far now?
Hey everybody, what's up? So this video is going to be really quick and I just want to jump right on into it. First, let me explain to you guys that I do have a Facebook. I know somebody asked me not too long ago if I did, and I told them in a comment on one of my previous Black Rose Witchcraft videos that I do have a Facebook. You can find me, and I'm going to publicly say this, you can find me under the name that I'll put in the description below. I figure why not? I realize I haven't linked my Facebook with my YouTube yet until now. But that was because I was super scared to, and now I'm kind of realizing, like, you know what, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, these are all my public face. Obviously I don't share anything that is too personal on those media sites, so I think it should be fine to just go ahead and give you guys my Facebook. You can add me if you like, but we'll see. If I start getting too many messages or whatever, I'll just find a way to go through those, and maybe then I'll split, my personal from my Facebook. But as of right now, I think it's cool and fine, so it should be all just swell. So anyway, so this discussion, the reason why I bring that up is because it comes from Facebook. It started from Facebook, so I'm just going to say that right now. I have a lot of pagans on my Facebook, a lot of witches. So this video is pretty much going to be for us that identify as witches or warlocks or spellcasters in general. So I'm on Facebook the other day, and I see where somebody is doing a social media spell, more specifically a social media Facebook curse / hex, whatever you want to call it. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of bring this discussion up and let you guys know how I feel about my witchy ethics. Ugh, I can speak today. Witchy ethics, and I kind of wanted to get a ball rolling on a discussion about this, because I don't think this is something that we discuss a lot, and it kind of makes a big difference on what path we follow. First of all, let me say that I have nothing against cursing or hexing or the like. I typically do not curse and hex. Me personally, I feel like spells are a very personal thing. So if I don't feel something deeply enough, I'm not going to cast it. So that's why most of my stuff is very much rooted around myself, my family, my friends, people who are close to me. With that being said, I will curse, I will hex if I feel it's necessary to do so. Don't mess with me, don't mess with my family, that kind of thing. Aside from that, will be all good and great. So there's that. A lot of my protective spells, like I put a protective spell in a lot of my books that I'll loan out to people. They have a anti-theft spell on them that is both a protective spell and an offensive spell, to where if somebody would deliberately try to take these or plan to take these, nothing good's gonna come of it. But stuff like that, I started out as a Wiccan, and I still very much feel like it's not a good thing to be sending bad, negative juju out to people, The world has enough negativity in my mind as it is, so I don't think it's necessarily a wise thing to put out negativity, to whip out our wands, if you will, for anything willy-nilly. With that being said, back to the post on Facebook. A specific pagan, I'm not going to mention names, because I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with this. However, I chose not to contribute. And when I say there's nothing wrong with this, I mean for someone else. If someone else chooses to do this, that's fine. That's their business. I don't think it's necessarily right for me to contribute in my situation. Let me go ahead and give you some details so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, a witch I have friended on Facebook posts this huge post about this woman who is being mentally abused. To my knowledge, she was not getting physically abused. It was just a mentally abusive relationship that she was in. I don't know if she's married or if it's just her boyfriend or what, but it is a male. And the witch said, went on to explain some of the stuff that she's been going through and how she feels like she can't have any friends because if she has friends, that's a big no-no to this guy and everything else. Sorry, my hair's crazy, by the way, you guys. I swear I brushed it, but... So, he made some sigils and was posting these sigils along with the original post saying, if you feel like, if you wouldn't mind to add to my fire, basically, he's already done something and he's going to keep working on it. He wanted the witches that he has friended on Facebook to kind of add to the fire and add their energy to it. And a lot of people were saying, done, we're doing it, whatever. And it was kind of like he had two sigils. There was one for the male and one for the female. And the man's, was so nothing good came of it, But the female's was to kind of help her through getting out of this relationship and just kind of help assisting her, So, reading what I read and reading what he says is going on with this woman, I immediately was angered. My mother very much raised me, intentionally or not, as a feminist. I have very feminist ideas, and just what he put in this post was angering me. I was getting very worked up and very upset about this, and nobody, male or female, should go through this. But it very much made me want to contribute. However, the more and more I thought about it, because I told myself, walk away, calm down, think about it before you act. The more I thought about it, the more I thought it wasn't really in my place. And maybe that's an excuse that I'm coming up with, or maybe that's like, the bystander responsibility thing, but I didn't feel like it was really necessary for me, and I didn't think it would be very easy for me. It wouldn't be very... I feel like we should definitely know who we're casting on. If we're going to cast anything on somebody, I feel like we should definitely know who they are, how it will affect them, at least have a pretty damn good idea about as to how it will affect them. To just send that energy out, there were no pictures, there were no names, no nothing, which could get somebody in trouble if he posted. But to just send that out willy-nilly, with no direct idea of where it's going, it just didn't feel right, Does that make sense? It just didn't feel... It didn't feel like it was going to help much. I don't know the woman, I don't know the man, I don't know their energy, I don't know the end product. I don't know what I want, basically, and how can I cast a spell if I don't know directly what I want? Does that make sense? So I chose not to do it. But my discussion topic, or my question to my viewers, if you are a witch or if you practice spellcraft, do you curse? Do you hex? How do you feel about that ethically? And if you do curse and if you do hex, would you contribute to a social media curse or hex? Another huge social media thing that was going on, that was actually even in a lot of the news and propaganda not so long ago, was that one guy, I forget his name. If I remember his name or find out what it was, I'll post it somewhere so you guys know to look it up if you don't know about it. But he was accused and went on trial for the rape of a woman. I think it was just one woman. I didn't look too deep. I should have looked deeper into this before I said anything. But me, just willy-nilly, just doing what the fuck ever. But anyway, he was accused of raping somebody, and then he got off on a lighter charge than what a lot of witches, or a lot of people in general, thought he should have, and a lot of witches who felt this way decided to get together. A lot of witches, by the way, a lot of well-known witches got together and decided to do big, huge social media curses and hexes. And it was on the news that this guy was getting hexed and cursed by a lot of witches on the internet. I actually know quite a few witches who did live Facebook feeds of their curses and hexes and their workings against him. Again, I didn't know a lot about the case, so I didn't contribute. Whether that makes me a willy-nilly witch or whatever, or again, bystander effect, I don't know. But I didn't have the connection, with what else was going in my life. I didn't have that connection to feel that it would really help. So I chose not to. What do you guys think? Did you contribute to that? Would you contribute to something like that? Social network curses, more specifically curses, are becoming more and more and more popular. It seems like I'm finding something every other month on social media about public curses. And when I say public or social media curses, I mean like the legit using of social media to gain energy in the curse. So like with the first example that I used, using social media to get, well, actually in both examples, using social media to gain numbers and people that are going to cast against something or cast for something. The first example I used was more planned out than the guy that raped trial, that guy. With that guy, it was just a lot of people doing their own justice spells and hexes and stuff. With the first example I used, it was a little more planned out in the sense that he was sending everybody sigils instead of sending pictures and names. He made sigils, and he gave these sigils to everybody on social media and said, if you're willing to contribute, this one represents him, this one represents her, and go at it. But like I said, I have no negative feelings towards this witch or any witches that contributed. That's their choice and their decision. I wasn't comfortable with it because of my situation and the connection. I didn't have one. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments. Maybe some video responses are certainly welcome. I would love to hear your guys' opinions and comments. This is something I haven't discussed a lot, and something that I think we all should discuss, because a lot of us, I actually told Ravenflower not too long ago, because somebody asked her a question on YouTube, and she sent them my way to ask a question about Wicca. And she said, I don't really recognize myself as a Wiccan, but here's Blue Knight. You should look him up and, see what he ask him some questions. I started out with Wicca, and I definitely still practice, with a sort of Wiccan knowledge. I still believe that, there's karmic justice in the universe, and I do believe that you should really do no harm, but I also believe you should take no shit. It's a big, huge thing. And with that, I'm branching off into studying with my Black Rose Witchcraft course, American traditional witchcraft. And I'm even thinking about diving into some hoodoo and conjure a little bit, which is also something that Black Rose Witchcraft will touch up on. And that's why I'm kind of recording those videos for you guys, so you can kind of see my experience if you want to take a course in a modern American traditional witchcraft tradition. And so you guys can kind of go along with me and see how I'm changing. So my ethics on cursing and everything could change within the next few months. I am human. But just let me know what you guys think. Give me some video responses, some comments. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure to check out my Facebook if you'd like to friend me on Facebook. I'm there. And also Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. So everybody have an awesome week, and blessed be. And I'll see you around.